But this evening, I'm very pleased to introduce Red Horse. And I was wondering what I'd say about Red Horse. But he's going to do all the talking, and we're going to hear a lot about Red Horse. So I'm not going to do much talking, but when I was looking at what this is about and what Red Horse is about, looking at the brochure, I was really drawn by, I think, the last paragraph. And I want to share this with you, that Red Horse teaches people of all ages about sustainability via the Indigenous Native American culture. This empowers them to make positive changes for the good of themselves, future generations, and the earth we all live on. And I think that's something that we can all reflect on, and it has as much relevance today as it did many years ago. So thank you for joining us, and I'll pass you to Red Horse.
Hello, my name is Natalia. I am Red Horse's wife. He also calls me Little Big Heart. Apparently I'm little. Is this covering this bit? I like this. But I've got a big heart, and I think we should all be like this in the world. We would get so much satisfaction back. If you can make somebody smile, you've done a great deed for the day. Now, today it's my great pleasure to introduce to you Red Horse. He's such a fascinating, talented man. We're so blessed to have him living here in the beautiful Yarra Ranges. We live in Mooroolbark. He's from the southwest of North America. He's a Mascalero Apache. Now, Red Horse, he's got quite a name for himself with the young right through the old here in Victoria. He's a speaker, an educator, a storyteller, a flutist, a dancer, and a singer. So we're going to have a wonderful show tonight. Thank you. He also teaches, with myself, Red Horse teaches school children of all ages and all grade levels with sustainability by the Indigenous Native American culture. We also hold a very popular interactive experience for adults called A Day in the Life of a Native American Indian. We're having this on the 22nd of November actually, and we've already sold 50 tickets. It's sold out, so we've had to open another 20. People have come twice, 3 times to this event. It goes for 8 to 9 hours, and it is full of Native American culture. You learn to sing and dance and eat fantastic food all day, learn about the artefacts that we have on display, and it is just a full day that you will be talking about. Now, Red Horse, you're taking all my attention here. This is what it's like to work with your husband, ladies. Now, Red Horse has quite a strong relationship with the Mind Body Spirit Festival. Has anybody seen him perform there? No? Okay, well that's been here in Sydney, in Melbourne and in Sydney, so he's quite popular there as well. Well, with no further ado, I introduce to you Red Horse. Thank you.
How you doing tonight? Fix that. Okay, that's all right. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
I have a pretty loud voice, and I don't know why this is not working. Let's try it one more time. That's 1, 2. Now, I'm trying to do one more time. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, there you go. The first thing that we like to do is I come from the Mescalero Apache, and if you could just lower the reverb down a little bit, the echo. Wrong one, yeah. Okay, lower the echo a little bit more. The second. It's that. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. So the first thing that we like to do before we start anything, we have different traditions to do different things. We have ceremonies for different things, ceremonies for the baby, moccasin ceremonies for the cradle, ceremonies for all kinds of things. But the main thing that we like to do before we start anything is to pray. Okay? And you don't have to be going to a church to pray. You can pray where you stand, because church is wherever you stand, you know. And prayer is easy. And it's always good to pray. This is one thing that people have forgotten how to do. So I'm going to pray in the Apache language, and then I'm going to... Does anybody here know how to speak Apache, by the way? So you won't understand me. So what I'll do is then I'll translate it into English so you understand it. Bekaguandan, naiste nanzi, inzuku dahen dada deni, naisk gunli nazaye, shian da hiet tibet, hinesco nehanan si, iksehe, iksehe, iksehe. To the one that we lead by, the Creator, please look over us in a good way. Be good to us, be kind to us, and be for us. Keep our language and our ways strong. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One of the things that is very important is that when we do our dances, we tell stories. And tonight I'm going to do 2 dances. The first one's a tomahawk dance. You might have saw me put it on the ground. And this is a story about a warrior who finds a tomahawk while he's out. Now, the second dance I do today, I'm not going to tell you how to read this dance, but the second dance I'll do a hunting dance. And on that dance, I'm going to show you how to read the dance to understand the different things that I'm doing so you understand the story that's being told. Okay, this is called the tomahawk dance.
one, so the other one had interference. That was his slow dance. The big one. Ladies and gentlemen, at the back, please stand up so you can see the steps because you're missing so much. You're not being rude, honestly. You all gather around. We are more than happy for you to watch. Now, Red Horse has been playing the flute. He's made a beautiful CD. He's named it after me. I wonder why. I made all his regalia, all the beadwork. Would you like to just turn around and show the bustle too? There's such a beautiful culture to just to take into your heart and make things like this. I'm so grateful and honoured to be able to help them to bring forth the message we are trying to get across. It is true, sustainability was lived by all of our tribes way back when we were starting out. And we've forgotten the spirituality, unfortunately, a lot of us have. So if we can just pray every day, just to the Creator, who is God, just to give thanks for everything we have, we will be better off. Every day will go smoothly for you, I can guarantee it. Now, we have many spirits and orbs here, if you believe it or not. Take your photos out, your cameras, on the phone, take some video. You'll see them flying with Red Horse. You'll see little orbs of spirit, and it is just beautiful. They're his ancestors. He does pray for them to come and help. Now, thank you. This is the CD. It's so beautiful. It is now an underscore for another CD in America with the Mescalero Apache tribe. So we are very, very honoured that they chose this CD out of the many hundreds of natives that play the flute. And we're here in Australia, so that's a great honour. Now this is the brochure. You can please come and pick one up, and a CD. We've got a table out there. On the brochure we tell you a bit about the day on the 22nd of November. If you'd like to get one, please come and see us. Okay, Red Horse now. There'll be the Apache creation story. Okay, and then you're going to play the Mescalero. This is a beautiful CD. This is the one he crossed the spirits over with. It's the #1 song here. I do believe Kerry and Deanna have a CD. Do you play it, ladies? How do you like it? It's very relaxing. There's many different genres on there. Thank you.
Within our homelands lie the 4 sacred mountains.
Sierra Blanca,
Guadalupe,
3 Sisters,
and Oscuro Mountain Peak.
These 4 mountains represent the directions of everyday life for our Apache people.
Our grandparents often speak of the place called White Mountain.
It was the place that
the Creator gave us life. It is a special place.
It was on White Mountain
that white-painted woman gave birth to 2 sons.
child of water and killer of enemies.
They were born during a turbulent rainstorm
When thunder and lightning came from the sky. Giant monsters who wanted to kill them feared white-painted woman and her son,
who she raised to be brave and skilled. When they grew up to be men, they rose up
and killed the monsters of the earth. There was peace,
and all human beings were saved.
One of the things that we also do when we pray, there are 4 things that we use to burn in the shell. You turn on the reverb just a little bit in the first one. What those 4 things are sage. Has anybody ever heard of sage? Yes, you have. Have you used it? Yes, you have. And what happens is when you do use sage, and after you've used the sage in your home, do you feel like there's something different? You feel your house is different? It's lighter, it's cleaner. Well, the sage was given to us by the Creator is what we believe. There was an evil spirit, a trickster, something like you would call the devil. And what happened is that the plants came forward. And when they did come forward, the sage stepped up and said, we'll use us to protect your people. So when you see the old cowboy and Indian movies, now raise your hands when you have seen this. And he's got the bowl of smoke. Okay, not yet. And they got the bowl of smoke. And that smoke is burning. Let me move this just a little bit. Right. There, that's better. And the smoke is burning, and the Indian's going like this. The smoke on himself. Have you seen that in the movies? That's sage. Okay? And what that does, it gets rid of negative energy, gets rid of negative spirits. And the scientific world, they said, you know what? We believe that this sage stuff is just superstition. It's Native American superstition because you have to show us. Because scientists are like this. I don't believe it unless I see it. All right? That's how a lot of scientists are. So what they did is they figured out the negative energy is positive ions. They took those positive ions and they stuck them in a laboratory environment. And what they did is they stuck some sage in there and started burning it. Watching their meters, they started noticing that the positive ions started depleting the negative energy. They don't know why it works, but I know why it works. Because this stuff is real. And this stuff was given to us by the Creator. Also, what we put in the bowl is called sweetgrass. And if you take the sweetgrass and you pass it around, I'm going to hand it to you, y'all can pass it around and smell it. Y'all can take the sage and pass it around and smell it. The sweetgrass, what that does, is that it actually invokes good spirits to come into your home. Another Native American superstition. But you know, I grew up believing this stuff. And so one night while Natalia was out, I took a video camera at home. And I began burning. You're not supposed to burn the whole thing. You're supposed to just cut a little bit and put it with the sage. And I began burning, and I was waving in front of me, and I was videotaping it. And I was calling to the spirits in the house to come forward, because I was thanking them for what they had done for me. And the family, and the home, and our lives, the way they had intervened to make things better. And on the other side of the room, I could see balls of light through the camera appearing. They were flying through the smoke. And I have this on video. In fact, we have so much documented evidence of spirits, like she says, flying around. And I have a daughter who doesn't believe in spirits. And you can actually take these photos, blow them up, and you'll see Native American men's faces with feathers and everything in these. The last thing that, two of the last things that we put in the bowl is a pinch of tobacco. Now, we didn't use tobacco to smoke. Tobacco was very important to us. It was for ceremony. Tobacco was if we wanted to have a good hunt, or we had a dignitary, or something that we really needed to pray about or think about. We used tobacco, and we really didn't inhale it. It wasn't being inhaled, so we didn't have like, you know, a food and then we go, oh, a cigarette tastes nice right now. We didn't do that. It wasn't all about that, okay? It was about giving the Creator thanks, and that's why we put a bit of that. It's like a bit of an offering. The last thing we put in the bowl is this here. I'll open it up so you can smell it. This is called cedar. Okay, and what cedar does is when you burn that, it actually carries it up on the cedar smoke to the Creator. Now another thing I'm going to do, so I've told you about that. We have that here. We always have it everywhere. And we've had people that, you know, have never tried it, and they do try it. And once you've tried it, you'll understand, especially women, because women, believe it or not, are more spiritual than men. All right? Women's intuition, right? Women's intuition. You guys always know what's going on. We guys can't get away with a lot of stuff because you already know what we're up to. So that's women's intuition. You'll have that second sense already. But I'm not saying that all men aren't spiritual. There are spiritual men. But just women are just that little bit more spiritual. The next song I want to play is called Orion's Belt. When I made this CD that a couple of people have here, the CD was very special to me. I used to go out and do concerts. And I would dance, and I would play the flute, and I would speak like today. And what would happen is I only knew 3 songs because I was just learning. I didn't know how to play the flute all my life. I'd only been playing for a few months, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 months. And as soon as I was done playing, you know, Natalia said, she would always say, you know, Red Horse, you should make a CD. I said, well, how can I make a CD with 3 songs? Well, when I was done performing, everybody would be all excited. They go, oh, you got a CD, you got a CD. And Natalia would punch me in the arm and say, I told you to make a CD. Anyways, I went into the studio and I did make a CD. And as soon as I got there, the recording engineer was there and it was me. And I took out the bowl and I started saging. I started smoking everything, And that guy, he didn't know what to make of me. Yeah? And then I told him, open your arms, and I started saging him. And then I saw he had all these guitars, and he had a bass, and he had all these musical instruments in there. I said, do you know how to play all these? He said, yeah, they're all mine, I play them. I said, well, would you like to accompany me on this CD? And he did. And then I took the sage and I started saging all his instruments. Okay. So what happened was he would start playing a song, and immediately I would begin playing the flute. And this was not even rehearsed. These songs, they're not written. They came from the spirit world, because I know this, because 3 months after I made the CD, I had to go play somewhere with a guitar player. And what happened is it was like I was learning somebody else's music. It wasn't my music. And finally, when the event was going to happen, he came over and we practiced, and all the people were there, and he was going to play the guitar. And when we practiced before, it was really shaking. It didn't sound really good. And I said, don't worry, we'll just wing it. They won't know. Well, as soon as he started playing and I started playing the first note, it's as if somebody took over. All the breaths were right. All the fingering movements were right. The whole sound, or the whole song, sounded just like the CD. And when people took pictures of me while I was standing there, there was big balls of light over the top of the flute. You can't see them with your eyes unless you have that gift to see these spirits. But they were capturing them on their phones. Even tonight, some of you may take photos of me dancing in here, and you may see those balls of light. Now you got to be careful, because some of these things can be mistaken for dust. Right? We know they're not dust because you can actually enlarge them, and you'll actually see spirits' faces. All right? This one's called Orion's Belt. If you just put up just a little bit of echo on this, because I like to make it sound like we're in the Grand Canyon. All right? This is Orion's Belt because there's 3 stars in Orion's Belt. Everybody knows that. And those 3 stars are my 3 daughters. cultural time and a cultural event, you can turn down the echo a little bit, is that we like to tell stories. Just turn up the echo. Hair. Just the hair. Yeah, just a little bit. And the reason we like to tell stories is because we taught morals to our children, and we taught morals to the tribal members. And the best way we can do it was tell the story. So this is the story of the little turtle. A long time ago, the United States used to be called Turtle Island because we believed it was a gigantic turtle that we lived on. But on Turtle Island, there were turtles. And at that time, all the animals and all the humans could speak the same language. We all conversed with each other, but sadly, we lost that. And that's a whole other story. And I'm going to tell you the turtle story instead. The turtle lived on a small pond, surrounded by large, massive pine trees. I want you all to close your eyes for 1 second and go like this. Breathe in through your nose. You can smell the pine. You can smell the pine trees. And this little turtle, he played all day with the frogs, and he played with the other turtles, and he played with the fish. But his best friend was a frog. And they sit there and throw mud at each other all day. Throw mud, throw mud, throw mud, throw mud. And he realized that every time he looked in the sky, he'd look up and he'd see the winged people flying. You call them birds, but we call them winged people because we believed every single, life that you call an animal, we call people. There was the water people, there was the fish people, there was the four-legged people. They were all people to us. Well, he looked up at the sky, and all the time, while they were throwing mud at each other and laughing and playing, he'd look up and he'd see the winged people flying. And he'd stop, and he goes, I want to fly. I want to fly. And the frog looked at him, and he said, are you stupid? You can't fly. You're a turtle. And at that time, the turtle had a beautiful polished shell. Not one break, not one crack, not one stripe. It looked like polished veneer wood. Very beautiful, very shiny. And so they start playing again and start playing. But every once in a while, here would come the winged people flying by. And he stopped and he goes, oh, I want to fly. And once again, the frog goes, you can't fly. Don't embarrass yourself. You're a turtle. Come play with me. Well, it came the cold time, Gola. And during that time, in America, the birds fly from the north to the south. Here they fly opposite, from the south to the north. So they're playing again, and it's getting cold time. He looked up, and the birds are getting ready, already flying. He could see them, swarms of them. And then he saw some big black swans. And before he said, I want to, they circled around the pond. And slowly, they landed on the water. His little heart went crazy. That's how it sounded. Oh my God. I gotta go after the fly. I'm gonna go after the fly. They're gonna teach me how to fly. They're gonna teach me. Once again, his best friend, the frog, don't do it. Don't do it. You're a turtle. Please don't do it. Don't embarrass your family. No, I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask him, said the turtle. I gotta go. So the turtle set out toward the swans. And he's swimming. And 5 hours later, he finally makes it. Because turtles are slow, right? And this turtle was a slow turtle. So he finally gets there. And then he gets up to them. And he goes, can you teach me to fly? Pulling on their wings. Can you teach me to fly? Can you teach me? Can you teach me? Can you teach me to fly? Can you teach me? The swans are like, get away, get away. Get away, you nasty turtle. Get away. We can't teach you to fly. You're a turtle, go away. You don't have feathers. Get off. Can you teach me to fly? Can you teach me to fly? Can you teach? He kept pulling. He was persistent. Now I want you to tell me the truth. How many of you were children and you did that to your parents until they finally gave you what you wanted? Come on, you're adults now. You don't have to hide because, I'm an Indian. I don't know if you're lying. And we Indians know a lot. Raise your hand. Did you do that? It's okay. Because I know you're good people now. Well, and finally, your parents go, all right, I'll give you what you want, right? That's what happened. Can you teach me to fly? Finally, the swan's, all right. We'll take you with us. Only if you can figure out a way to do it. He went home that night, and he thought. He couldn't sleep all night, and he thought, and he thought, and he thought, and he thought, and he thought. Finally, he had an idea. Come the morning, the sun was coming up. He could hear them rustling, their feathers moving around, eating, getting ready to go. And that turtle swam out to a rock. And he took his head out like this. Way out. You ever seen a turtle do that? Yeah, he got it from this turtle. This was the first one. He reached inside of the shell and he pulled out a long stick. In America, we have turtles. They're called snapping turtles. If they hold on to something, they never let go. So he was going to put that stick in his mouth and he stuck his neck way out. Instinctively, the swans knew what he wanted. So he could hear the... He held it tight, and all of a sudden, here comes 2 mouths of each swan, and he starts going up. He starts going up, and you can see next to him. You see the big wings on each side, going on each side, and he's just smiling. He's so happy, his little heart. Again, he started going up, past the tall pine trees. He started going up past the mountains. He started going up past the snowy mountain peaks. He started going up past the clouds. My God, that turtle was flying! Now, I want you all to tell me, and I want you to say it loud. Don't be embarrassed. We're among friends here, all right? What do you say when something or someone does something nice to you? What 2 words? Loud. And he opened his mouth. Right away, that turtle knew he had made a mistake. He said, "Thank." There goes the stick, and he started falling back. And them swans, they weren't coming back for him. He started flying and flying. And at that moment, he knew this was his last day on this planet Earth, that he was going to turn into a spirit. He started going back, past the clouds, past the snowy mountain peaks, past the mountains, past the pine trees, and he hit the ground. And his beautiful polished shell broke into 1,000 million pieces and went for miles and kilometers away, so far away. And he lay there dying. Well, somebody had seen all this. His name was Grandfather Wind. Grandfather Wind is real. He exists. Because you know, you feel the wind, don't you? You feel it. You can't see it, but you know it's real. And we know Grandfather Wind is real. And Grandfather Wind can fix anything. He flew down to the turtle. He goes, "Turtle, why? Why did you want to be a winged person? You're a turtle, and turtles are important. The Creator made you to do turtle things." He said, "Can you help me?" And he said, "I'll help you. I will help you, and I will heal you, and I will save your life. But for only one reason, if you promise me to be a turtle." And he said, "I will." So Grandfather Wind came down in all his might and all his glory and started going slowly around the turtle. So fast it was like a tornado. And all the pieces from miles and k's around started coming back into the turtle's shell. And this is why the turtle shell looks like this today. Because Grandfather Wind had repaired it. Now remember, I want you all to remember, because there's many people here from many age groups. You are very special people. Don't let anybody ever tell you that you're not. Because each one of you has a gift. Each one of you has a power. Each one of you is special. And you need to be who you are. Don't be somebody that you're not. You'll find out that your life will be a better life. Thank you.
important. It teaches them that they are individuals and the bullies are just not allowed in. So yeah, we love going to schools and teaching the students. So if any of you know of teachers or there are teachers here, please give them a brochure. Red Horse is now going to sing an Apache song, I Am a Warrior.
Now, I know I've been trying to be real quiet because I know people are studying. But I can't be quiet all the time. I'm an Apache, and we're very loud. So I'm going to sing this song, and hopefully there's a lot of insulation in between this floor and the next. Has anybody complained yet? All right. You should have said, if they do, you said, well, you should have been there. You missed out. This is called I'm a Warrior. It's a little bit. And I am who I am when I came in this world. I am who I am. Sika no 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 Bangariana Sirenana Sika no 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 Bangaria Shirena Hey hey ha ha Sika no 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 Bangariana Sirenana Sika no 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 Bangaria Shirena Hey hey ha ha Sika no 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 Bangariana Shirenana Sika no 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 Bangaria Shirena Hey hey ha ha Hey oh hey ah Hey oh hey ah Hey oh hey ah Hey hey ha ha Hey oh hey ah Hey oh hey ah Hey oh hey ah Hey hey ha ha Sika no 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 Bangaria Shirena Hey hey ha ha Sika no 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 Bangariana Shirena Sika no 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 Bangaria Shirena Hey hey ha ha Hey oh hey ah Hey oh hey ah Hey oh hey ah Hey hey ha ha Hey oh hey ah Hey oh hey ah Hey oh hey ah ha Hey hey Sika no 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 Bangaria Shirena Hey hey ha ha Sika no 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 Bangaria Shirena Sika no 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 Bangaria Shirena Hey hey ha 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 May the song bless you all.
Now we have Lone Eagle. I would like you all, even if for a moment, when Red Horse plays this, if you close your eyes and just imagine you're in the Grand Canyon and the eagle is flying with the backdrop of the Grand Canyon. Now the guitar is the wind and the eagle is the flute. Thank you.
the Apache people. How many people have ever heard of Geronimo? Turn down just a little bit on the video. Geronimo was not his real name. A lot of people believe Geronimo was a war chief or chief. Geronimo was neither of those. He was a very special, complicated man. You know, Geronimo was only about this tall. He was a very small man. That's why I'm this tall. Because Apache people are not really big. And we're very tall, but we're fierce warriors. And his real name was Gogathia. Gogathia means he who yawns. Now you think, oh my God, is that Geronimo's name? There's no way. This guy was fierce. The U.S. government feared him. I want you all to imagine that you're an Apache person. I want you to look at yourself in your mind. I want you to see your long black hair. I want you to see your dark skin. I want you to see how rough and vibrant and bigger you are, because you're an Apache. And I want you to figure and see yourself with 38 other Apaches, because I'm going to tell you the story of Geronimo and the 39 Apaches, and you're going to be one of them. In 1886, during the time of the Apache Wars, all the other Indians were on reservations at this time. All the other Indians, the mighty Sioux, the Comanches, they had all either been moved to Indian territory or they were already put away or subdued by the military. The only people still fighting were the Apache Indians. 39 Apaches, and you're one of them. Every day you're running, and you're running in a scorching desert. Degrees of up to 120 degrees. Would that be 40, 50 degrees? I don't know. I still haven't figured out the weather yet. You're running 80 miles a day. And 80 miles is about 127 kilometers. And you know why you're running? Because hot on your heels are 5,000 U.S. troops. 5,000 U.S. Army troops. And at that time, in 1886, 5,000 troops was a quarter of the whole army of the United States. They're looking, men, women, children. And they range from babies to really elderly people. And they're running every day. But not only 5,000 soldiers are after you, there's also 3,000 Mexican soldiers that are looking for you too. So now that's 8,000 people. And let us not forget the vigilantes, that the Mexican government paid bounties on the Apache people's heads to the bounty hunters, and there was about 1,000 of those. They paid them for a male Apache scout, a warrior scout, $100. For a woman's Apache scout, $50. And for a baby scout, a child, $25. How deploring. And many Indians were killed that weren't even Apaches because the bounty hunters just wanted the money. That was a lot of money in the 1880s. A lot of money, $100. Even $25 was a lot of money. They ran and they ran and they ran, and they would never get caught. Not one man, woman, child, not one single person was ever captured. And if that isn't brilliant, I don't know what is. So the U.S. government, you know what they did? They hired Apaches to help them track the Apaches that they were looking for. Because it takes an Apache to catch an Apache. So they got the Apaches off the reservation. Because you see, when you're on a reservation, you can't do anything. You can't hunt anymore. You can't have a gun. You can't leave. You're subdued there, and you have to eat the junk that they give you. So of course, you know, the guys that are there, she goes, yeah, I'll be a scout. They got more rations, they got more food, they got horses, they got guns, they got uniforms, they got pay. You know, I wonder what I would have done in that choice. And a lot of Apaches didn't do it. Well, finally, they did catch up to them because of the Apache scouts. They had a stronghold that they breached. And as the Apaches climbed up, they were there waiting for them with guns. And the women there begged them not to kill the Apache scouts because they were family. Finally, General George Crook, who led them, came and discussed surrender terms with Geronimo. General George Crook was a good and honest man. He really honored the Apache people. He called us the Tigers of the West. He said, look, I think I can get you 2 years in a prison. That's what they're talking. It's coming from Washington. You're going to go 2 years to a prison in Florida. And after that, you can come home. Geronimo said, 2 years in a prison, huh? And he goes, look, you guys, a lot of people, you know, a lot of innocent people were murdered, George Crick said, because it was a war. And Geronimo said, you know, well, you killed a lot of Apache people too, because this is war and bad things happen. So they decided, okay, we're going to go to prison for 2 years. So they rounded up all the 39 Apaches, and then they turned to the other Apaches that hadn't been on the reservation. Some of them hadn't done anything. They put them on the train too. It's not what they had done, it's what they were. They were an Apache, so they were really scared. And then, last but not least, they take the knife in the heart of the Apache people. They turned to the scouts, who they promised that they would not send to prison. They took their uniform, they took their guns, and they took their horses. Thank you for your service. Get on the train with the rest of them. Can you imagine the way they felt? And can you imagine the other Apaches that they had helped catch? The animosity that happened on that train. They went off to Florida for 2 years, and straight away they started dying because there was bugs in Florida. Florida was the farthest way you could get from New Mexico and Arizona. It was damp. They put them in dungeons. The bugs were killing them. They weren't used to encephalitis and mosquitoes, and they started dying off straight away. Slowly they started moving them into colonies, but they still had to let them come back. And you know what? Geronimo didn't make it home. He died before he got back. You know why? Because that 2 years turned into 27 years of captivity. 27 years that they were held captive. So, when it came time for them to want to come home, they still didn't give them a reservation. They were punishing these certain Apaches. They were Chiricahua. They were punishing them. But the Mescalero people, those are our people, the Apache people. We had a reservation. We opened up our doors and we gave them a piece of land to enjoy. To this day, they're there. And last year, they celebrated 100 years of freedom on our reservation. So tonight, I'm going to dance this hunting song, or the hunting dance, for all those Apaches that didn't come home, for all those Apaches that never made it back home. I'm going to dance for them, my ancestors. I'm going to dance for all the people that cannot dance, no matter whatever reason that you cannot dance, but you want to dance. I'm going to dance for all the little children in the world that will dance one day. I will take some sort of artistic kind of habit to be able to broaden their minds and not get stuck on a video game. And last but not least, I'm going to do this dance for all y'all. And this is a really, you know, I'm 54 years old, okay? I'm no spring chicken. But the spirits here, they keep me going. And I always pray for them, me to say the right thing, to play the right thing, to pass the right message, so that you all can be touched in one way or another. So I dance for you all tonight, because you took the time to come here for this little bit of time and spend time with us, to listen, to learn, and to enjoy our culture. And for that, I honor you all. This is called the hunting dance. And in the hunting dance, we're telling the story of a hunt for a buffalo. I'm going to do different moves. And when I do those moves, you're going to interpret them, okay? The first move is called the buffalo step. When a bison buffalo sees you, the first thing he does, he starts sizing you up. And he'll sit down, he'll get down, and he'll start swinging. And he'll start sidestepping. He'll start sidestepping you. He's looking at buffaloes, looking at you, and he's sizing you up and says, are you going to hurt me? Are you going to hurt my family? Are you going to hurt the herd? So he's sidestepping. That's what's important about this step. It's a buffalo. And when he finally figures out that you're a danger and you're a threat, his tail will come up in the air just like this. So when you see me, the buffalo's tail's up in the air. He's either going to charge you, he's going to kill you, you better run, you better climb a tree, or you better kill him. Because buffaloes are like one big ball of muscle. Has anybody ever seen a buffalo in person? You have? They're big, aren't they? They seem docile, but don't get them upset, just like an Apache. They're very nice people, but just don't get us mad. The only people Apaches are afraid of are our own wives. Okay? The next step that you're going to see me do is called a scouting step. So when I go like this, you see me dancing, I'm scouting the buffalo. I'm looking for the buffalo like this. I'm watching. I'm scouting. Another step you'll see me doing, I'll be dancing, then all of a sudden I'll go really low like this. I'll go low. That means I'm ducking, I'm hiding from the buffalo, I'm sneaking up on the buffalo. It's a sneak up step. Because I'm a warrior and I'm very proud to be who I am and where I'm at in this world, and I'm proud to be strong and to hunt for the people, I'll do the proud step. I'll take my, both things like this, stick my head up in the air, and I'll start going sideways. Doing the proud step. And I'm very proud to be hunting for the tribe. Okay? Another step you'll see me do is I'm coming down and I'm doing this. I'll be dancing, doing this, looking on the ground. That's called the tracking step. Now remember all these steps, because there's going to be a test afterwards, and I know a lot of you people you're used to taking tests. You wouldn't be in here if you weren't in here, right? That's why it's called the graduate house, because you guys graduated. So listen to me, pay attention to what I'm saying, because there will be a test afterwards. And if you fail, you can't drink no wine. I'm just kidding. Don't drink any wine. Okay. This is my dance stick. So you saw me dancing with it earlier, moving around. It's our dance stick. Most times we have our fans in this hand, our dance fans, our shields. This time, it's a smaller shield. It's still called a dance shield. Most of our shields are a lot bigger. This is just for dancing. This is called regalia. This is not a costume. Okay, so some people say it's a costume. It's not a costume. It takes me about a couple hours to get ready. That's with prayer and everything, calling the ancestors to come. So this is a dance stick, okay? But sometimes when I hold it out like this and I'm dancing, that's because I have my spear. It's a spear, okay? Okay, here comes the test time. Let's see who was listening and who was asleep. What is this step called? Loud. Scouty, look how you guys are smart. Give somebody else a chance, all right? And what is this step? Proud step. What is this step? Buffalo step, all right? And what is this step? Scouting. All right. You ready? Okay, let me take this off first because I don't want to break this thing. This off. Can you help me here? She made this, by the way. Shut it off. Okay.
me, that was the final performance. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Come and see us at our store. We'd love to talk to you.
Well, thank you, Red Horse. That was quite an experience. I'm on echo now.
Yeah, he's on Echo. He's in the Grand Canyon.
On the Grand Canyon, and you're catching your breath. And what it feels like to be 54 again.
It's a spirit world.
Now, I must report we've taken some photos of the performance this evening, and we have captured on film some of the spirits.
Wow.
And I've seen those, and I can assure you it's not dust, because I know Kerry has a room clean with dust every day, so there's no question there's dust in the air. That's partly from the smoke, of course. We haven't done anything tonight. Red Horse, thank you. You've shared a wonderful journey with us tonight of spirituality, peace, and harmony. And you've taught us about the power, the importance of the power in the present. And I always think when there's power in the present, there's hope in the future. And I think there's been plenty of power in the present this evening. Thank you. It's been a wonderful experience. And for me, I think many of us, it's been something to reflect on and a soul-enriching experience that we'll all remember. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the best part of the evening, I'm not too sure, this won't compete with Sage, I know. I must say that the Sage, I'll be looking at the Sage in my herb garden with renewed interest, but I don't have any sweet grass, so I don't know about that. That's right, that'll be outside, I'm sure. So, I think, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
And clearly you've been a wonderful part of this with
I should sit there next
the
to you.
regard.
I'm not a Native American.
Doesn't matter.
It's really a team effort. We like teamwork. And
Thank you so much.
Red Horse.
Without my wife, I would not be up here, all right? Because my wife has made, like she said, every single thing. And we used to argue, Red Horse, you should really do something with the culture. And I said, no way, no way, no way. And then one day something spiritual happened, and it may happen to you in your life. And once you're touched by the Spirit like that, everything changes. Your perception opens up, and all kinds of things start happening. You see, because there is no death. There's only a change of worlds. All right? And if we're lucky, sometimes we get to come back because we're not done learning our lessons. Okay, so bless you all. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Great.